We're going to go over our hang clean. Now there's going to be a lot of similarities in this as in the squat, but first and foremost what we need to understand is the hierarchy in this. Number one, technique. Number two is going to be aggression and bar speed, and number three is going to be weight. So I can care less about weight. You need to make sure your technique number one, aggression and bar speed number two, and then we can add that load onto it. All right, so now what you're going to do is get your feet set up. A lot of guys start too wide on this. You're going to get your feet set up about hip width, hands a little bit wider. So I'll be just like so. Now, your start position, you want the bar to be right on top of the knee, and when you're in that position, the bar and the shoulder needs to be in a straight line. This is going to put your trunk and your hips in the right position. If you're over, you got too much trunk lean. If you're too far back, a lot of times knees are over your toes and your hips aren't in a good position to be able to pull. So again, videotape or somebody on the outside watching to make sure that that start position is correct. So here's my start position. Now my first phase is going to be a pull. That bar needs to stay as close to my body as possible, almost untucking your shirt on the way up. I like to say that I'm kind of a puppet and strings are attached to my elbows and I pull up here. I'm going to get that pull as high as I can, and I care about the pull, but it's secondary to us. The catch is going to be more important. But let me backtrack a little bit. We want as much triple extension as possible. So coming up on those toes, bringing those hips through, making sure that we exaggerate that range without curving in the lower back. Now, that is not going to be done fast. A lot of people have the misconception that this needs to be done fast. It needs to be done explosive. So there's a big difference between the two. So I explode that bar through and I get it to my highest point. Now, once it's at its highest point, it's almost going to, not almost, it is, it's going to freeze in the air before it starts to descend down. At that freezing point, what I need to do is I need to jump underneath the bar and get leverage on it. And to me, this is the most important aspect. Now, I want to get underneath it as quick as possible with my hips going back. So here's where the squat comes into play. I want to land flat foot, big toe, little toe, heel. I want to make sure that my hips come behind me with my knees not going over my toes. I can have a little bit more shin angle on this because the bar is in front of me. And let's talk about that bar real quick. For that butt to go back, the elbows have got to be up. So something forward for something to go back. So now, my elbows need to come underneath that bar. Shoulders need to round to give some mobility within those shoulders, all right? And then if I'm having problems with my wrists or my lats, I might need to do additional work to try and get some extra flexibility within that, whether it's lats or wrists. But again, that's going to be something that we need to critique ourselves, find out if that's the problem, and then reach out to one of us so that we can help you with some extra mobility exercises. So let's get back on task here. So those elbows are up so that butt can come down, and I need to catch that bar low. So what is low? I don't need you to be in a full squat, nor do I want your butt to actually touch the ground. I want you to decelerate with your muscles, not your joint. So ideally, we want to catch in about a 3/4 stance, just like so. Now make sure you don't rush this catch or the stand up from the catch. Catch it, understand it, make sure that our hips are turned on with our feet gripping the ground, stand up, and then let it back down. So we'll go through a full rep here. Again, videotaping from the side or having a partner understand these cues from the side is going to be instrumental to your success on this. Bar is in the correct position. Eyes are up, or straight forward I should say. My chest is big. I'm pulling along the midline of my body. I'm going to come underneath it, catch low, stand up. I rock back my heels a little bit too much on that. I'm going to do one more rep. Good start position on top of my knee. Pull through, catch low. Take my time in standing up. I might even have gotten a little bit too low on that. That's okay, but again, make sure you're not stopping with your joints, you're stopping with your muscles on this.